We're good? All right, we're good. All right, hello everyone. How's everyone doing? Good? Quiet. It's finally jean season and flannel season, so that's great. Quick show of hands. Who came to fall CTF? Raise your hand if you came to fall CTF. Oh, that's great. That's great. Oh, people on Zoom too? Awesome. We're all good. Great. All right. So we're gonna get started real quick. Today we are covering OSINT, or open source intelligence. So first of all, some quick announcements. Fall CTF went great. We had approximately 300 or so attendees, which is double what we've had in past years, which is really, really, really cool. It went amazingly. Tons of people solved challenges. It was a good time. So there's going to be a social event this weekend. We're going to throw up a vote at some point. Just like, oh, what do we do? Bowling or something. We don't know yet. If you have any ideas, come up to us afterwards. We'll probably throw that event up tonight and end the vote by Friday at 7. So 24 hours roughly. And then back to 1404, question mark. We don't know when, hopefully the 7th. So everybody fingers crossed. So let's start going. So here's the meeting flag. SIGPwny, praise Toback. Go give that, go to SIGPwny, ctf.sigpwny.com and enter that to get the flag, to get your points for coming to this meeting, which is great. And then we've got a fun, relevant XKCD, which is this is called password stuffing, where you just find passwords from one place and stuff it into somewhere else. All right, I'll give everyone about another 30 seconds to get that done. I am going to prevent that disaster before it happens.
Stay for a while after the meeting. I did not know
For OSINT, the location one. Yeah, So this meeting will probably go 5 minutes longer than there'll be 20 minutes of stuff instead of 15 minutes of stuff, because there's a cool video I want to show you all. All right, so let's get started. OSINT is open source intelligence. Now, what does that mean? Because that doesn't really make sense. It's open source. So the content that you're going to be looking at is generally available to the public. A lot of you guys have probably seen most of these slides from Fall CTF, but we've got some more stuff for you. If it's not immediately accessible, it will be through some amount of drawing conclusions or some amount of enumeration or like looking through data to find the relevant information. It is also intelligence, and that's the int part of OSINT. And that intelligence is information that can be used or is valuable for some general operation. There's a big range of value. That could be everything from someone's post content, like what you're tweeting about, to someone's social security number. So it's a big variety of how valuable that information is. There's also a lot of pseudonyms for it. This is known as recon, cyber reconnaissance, human, et cetera, and it's generally considered one of the easier things in security, which is not true. What it actually is one of the less technologically difficult things. That doesn't make it easy. It just means there's a very low barrier to entry. Everybody will be able to do this without any tools, without anything today. You just need a web browser. So a quick warning for OSINT ethics. We're going to do a general warning, and then I've got 3 specific things that you guys need to explicitly agree to in a little waiver before you can do all the challenges. We're not trying to scare you, because none of this is illegal. There have been cases to back up the fact that this is all legal as long as you use legal means, but it can be functionally stalking if you're doing it pretty invasively. So I don't want anybody to be creep. If you have permission to OSINT someone, you can OSINT them. If you don't have permission to OSINT someone, you can't OSINT them, not because it's illegal, but because it's really creepy and unethical. You can find something you don't like or aren't supposed to. Additionally, if there was a company or like a person who works for a company that was very, very aggressive with their like lawyers, they could try and hit you with criminal charges for this. So yeah. Explicit code of ethics. Don't interact. I'm going to summarize these. You need to read them and agree with them in a bit. Don't interact with anything during these challenges. Like, don't post stuff. Don't message people, because you can message the wrong person. And then if we have 100 people messaging the wrong person, that kind of sucks, doesn't it? Don't perform any scans on backend services for this event. OSINT 2 will have that, but for this one, don't do that. This is not web hacking. This is open source intelligence. And then lastly, don't do invasive OSINT on other people without their consent. Thanks. This is, again, not legal, just ethical. You come off as a creep if you do it. Great. So why is this important? Why would we actually care about this? So on the left is a news article that Nathan just mentioned before the meeting that says Google and Facebook were tricked out of 123 million through a scheme known as invoice fraud. And how invoice fraud works is that someone sends an invoice to a company, which is basically a bill, and the company just pays that invoice. And what this scammer figured out is they researched the company. They did OSINT on these companies, Google and Facebook, and they figured out what invoice system was being used, and they figured out how that system may be automated. And then they abused that through just open research. They didn't have to do any testing. They just looked at internal documents and leaked information and stuff like that. And they used that to send fake invoices to these companies, charging $100 million. So there's real consequence to this. And then I also want to show you guys this video. That is Min's computer. That's the Zoom. Here.
You have stolen.
This is an awesome video.
$2,500 worth of hotel points. And worst of all, you have put me in a middle seat on a $5 flight. Oh my God. And they just let you do it.
Yeah.
Damn.
So I am here in Las Vegas for two of the world's biggest hacking conferences, and for some reason I have agreed to be hacked. I'm meeting Rachel Toback, who specializes
Zoom, can you hear the audio?
in a special form of hacking called social engineering. And I'm very nervous.
I feel like I know pretty much everything about you.
I instantly don't trust you. So am I going to be safer today, thanks to you?
You and every other customer will be safer today, thanks to what you're willing to let me do.
Well, that's a good start, I guess.
Okay, so you want to assume that everything that you put on social media is public. Information that can be found in places like this can be used to authenticate you with different companies. Do you remember this tweet?
Yeah.
I used this to gain access to your current address.
What?
So what I did is I called up this furniture company right here, and I basically said, hey, we're going to buy another one of these pieces of furniture, but I need to make sure that I don't accidentally have the wrong information on the account. And I said, no, I mean, you ordered something a while ago, but the thing that you ordered, we shipped to this address. And yeah, I think I got his updated address, which is pretty scary because that happened in 30 seconds. I got your current address. I got your birthday from Twitter. I called like pretty much every business that he ever listed that he used on his Twitter or Instagram. What you have to understand is when you do that, I now know which companies you use, and I know which companies to call as you.
What did you get from the boutique hotel?
Your phone number and your email address.
They gave me my phone number.
So I'm going to be doing these phone calls. I'm going to be actually live hacking. So when I call, your phone number is going to display on their caller ID.
This is Tony O'Sullivan.
Who are you really?
No, this is Tony O'Sullivan. I can tell you my address, phone number, date of birth.
Whatever you need to know to verify that that's really me.
That's wild.
I am on the road right now and I'm having trouble getting access to my internet, but I need to transfer points to my friend for a bridal shower. Hopefully you can help me out over the phone. I have all the information. I have 90,000, is that correct? So the first and last name is Rachel Toback. Oh, they've been transferred? Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Are your points gone?
They're gone. That is crazy. When you call this airline, it's going to be coming from my number.
Yes,
As you know, I have a flight in Vegas.
I'll put you in the middle. I'm trying to do this like personal essay thing. So can you move me to a middle seat, kind of in the back of the plane? I know you probably don't get that request a lot. Oh, perfect. Okay, so it's a row right before the last row and it's in the middle seat. You're in the back of the plane, middle seat.
I had an exit aisle.
I know. He picked it up saying, Mr. O'Sullivan, how can I help you?
If I was not sitting here with you and didn't know, they said, well, sir, you called up and requested it, I would let.
60.
Think about how much you have to do to get into your email. You have to have a password,
Mm.
two-factor. We're basically living in the dark ages on the phone compared to how hard it is to break into accounts online. Until these companies learn to change their authentication protocols, there are certain things you can do to help protect yourself. Remove your geolocation tagging. When you are on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, there's just no need for people to know exactly where you're staying in those places. After that, I would say products that you buy, services that you purchase, help that you try and get online, like on Twitter, that you're probably going to want to do privately. So maybe in DMs, because I'm just going to call them up as you and try and get your information. I think the most important thing is that I'm not going to victim blame you. Yes, sure, there are things that you can do to make my job a little harder. Ultimately, it is the company's responsibility to keep their customers' data safe, and updating their authentication protocols over the phone is a really good way to start. I'm sorry about that.
I'm so glad I agreed to do this, Rachel. You have stolen.
Stop. Okay. So that's Rachel Toback. Rachel is a absolute legend in cyber investigations and open source intelligence. And then the follow-up to that, which is what she did, is social engineering, where she called companies with the information that she had and tricked them into giving her access or more information, such as his home address or his current phone number, et cetera, et cetera. And then she was able to actually take action with those things, where she stole his points and put him in a middle seat in the back of the plane. So there's real consequence to these things. And yeah, let's talk about what they actually are. So types of intelligence. There's 4 types. There's systems intelligence, network intelligence, organizational intelligence, and human intelligence. We covered these a lot at Fall CTF, and most of you were at Fall CTF, so I'm going to go super duper quick. Systems intelligence is getting information about a system that you're attacking. So if you are attacking a corporate network, what is the operating system on the computer? What is the default PDF viewer? What is the default browser, et cetera, et cetera? What ports are open and what services are being offered there? So that's at like a technical level. So what can you attack? What vulnerabilities exist? And where is the stuff? So most well-known thing for this is port scanning. So that is, here's all the common ports for stuff. Really, really cool. These slides will go up. You're free to look at them. Doom uses 666, which I thought was really funny. Quick implications of this: ports being open can have adversarial implications and provide information about a system. So if you have ports 80,443 and 8080 open, that's probably a website. So you can take a look at that website on their internal system, see what it is. Maybe it's a printer, maybe it's something else. But if something like 53,445 and 3389 are open, that's probably what's called a domain controller, which means you can start attacking that and get information about users on an actual computer network. In terms of ethical and legal implications, the one thing I'm going to say is don't port scan the goddamn US government. You will have someone show up to your door. Like, source, I know people. So what? Yes. So network intelligence is the next thing. This is a step up from systems intelligence. This is basically, okay, cool. We know what these systems are, but who are they talking to? So network intelligence is like system intelligence, but more focused on the actual communications process. So if you have a network of systems, who is talking to who and why are they talking to each other? What is the data flow into a network? What is the data flow internally within a network? And what is the data flow on the way out of the network? So if I send a message to a website, how will it enter the network? What's the server that it's going to enter? Where will it go inside the network? Will it access any databases? Will it access any other computers? and where is it going to be sent back? Is it going to be sent back directly to the user, or is it going to be sent back to some other computer? So a lot of this is Windows. We're not going to cover that too much. But yeah, let's move on. If you're interested in this technical aspect of this, we're going to do an OSINT 2 at some point. We'll go way in depth into that, and then we'll also basically have what's called a GeoGuessr section, if you guys are familiar with that. So organizational intel is a lot of what Rachel Toback does, but on a corporate level and on a large scale. So how is an organization's operational security? What's their email format? What's their preferred airline or hotel? And then if you know these things, can you call them as a member of this organization and try and get more information? What are their IT and security protocols? Are people trained on how to detect phishing, et cetera, et cetera? Do individual organization members have strong OpSec? So does Trey from accounting know not to click on free concert tickets or free cruise tickets? And then things like internal document leakage, jumping into a dumpster full of papers and grabbing accounting information. There's tons of ways to gather organizational intelligence. And lastly, the stuff we are doing today, human intelligence, which I see many people are already starting on and are almost done on. Wow, I'm impressed. So human intelligence is what we're doing today. This is what most people think of when we think of OSINT. So human intelligence is the easiest thing to learn of this. It's creating a map of a person by gathering information about that person. This is everything from social media information to their in real life address to like voter information. There's tons of different methods, too many to put on a summary page. I tried. There's profiles with links and pictures and stuff that goes to other stuff. There's username reuse. That's a huge one. If some people usually have two identities online. A real name, so like something that goes on your LinkedIn, and then something that goes on your Discord account. Catch. So something that goes on your like LinkedIn, so your professional identity, and then there's your personal identity. So my professional identity is Thomas-Quaig. My personal identity is Sonic Ninja. I chose it when I was 10. I don't care what you think. So you can find there's kind of two different segmented identities there. But the job of people doing OSINT is to link them. Now mine are very public, so I know what's where and why it's there. Another thing, images, you can do reverse image searching. And lastly, deleted content, which we're not going to do now, but we may do later. So some general open source intelligence methods. Again, what I said, most people have two identities online, your professional identity, your casual identity. Your job is to link them. Who is Sonic Ninja? Who is Fartboy72, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. ShareLock is a great way to do that. You can find specific usernames on tons of platforms. So you can go use something called ShareLock and search up a username and see what platforms have that username. Very useful. All right, so now we're going to talk about specific services and how they may be relevant. Twitter, tweets and replies always look there first. Twitter bios have information, your location, a birthday, and then a link to somewhere else. Advanced searches are really good, and follower and following lists can help you build a network of friends. There's a lot of stuff in OSINT, so I'm going to try and speed it up even more. YouTube, banner, profile picture, about tab, and playlists. Fun fact about playlists. If you make a playlist and you include your own unlisted video in that playlist, someone can click on that playlist and see that video. Like it is now functionally public. Yeah, really interesting, really scary if you make your own playlists. Videos, closed captions come in many different languages. There's 3 different Englishes: English, English US, English UK, and English Australia. Kind of weird and kind of usable. Description, comments are not searchable, but you can Control F through them. GitHub, profile picture. Wait, someone did GitHub. GitHub.
Yeah.
Did you do GitHub?
I did GitHub.
Great.
Yeah, so GitHub, you can look through pull requests, you can look through repos, you can look, I know you can look through certain tags and you can kind of find out where someone is working at or where they're making stuff. Commit history, you can find out a lot of information just working through what they've contributed to as well. Yeah, I think that's comments and user content. Yeah, I think that's about it. Also, a lot of links to other links to other social media. So,
And then like code too.
and yeah,
Also the raw of GitHub commits.
Yeah.
Like certain things in the hash and whatnot.
yeah, the raw files. There you go.
So yeah, I mean, a big thing about GitHub is code. So someone might leak their API key or their SSH key or an AWS key. So there's like bots that will do that and like search for those keys and then immediately rack up $100,000 in like crypto mining, which is real and has happened to people that I know. I think it happened to Daniel at one point. So yeah. Then YouTube, nope, wrong way. YouTube, Twitter, what? Oh, I have this backwards. So here is an example of a repository. We've got, source is usually where you want to look if you want to look at actual code. There's lots of branches, there's tags, there's deleted branches, there's all sorts of stuff. Sometimes it's valuable to clone the repository and look at it in app like source tree, just if you're curious. Then Reddit. Who did Reddit?
I think you did Reddit.
I did Reddit. Great, I did Reddit. Reddit is a semi-anonymous website, which means you can have an account linked to your real identity, but you can also just name yourself whatever you want. So the whole idea with Reddit is you want to try and link people's identities to other platforms, whether they give that information to you or you figure it out through what they post or what you're interested in. So say someone posts a picture and you can reverse image search that picture to a tweet of the same thing or someone's LinkedIn account. There's tons of ways to do it. Again, on a profile, there's profile pictures, banner photos, comments, posts, links, what they're a moderator on, awards. You can search posts by top and controversial. Controversial is always fun because you can see like if people are saying stupid shit. And then old.reddit.com is also great because it also has even more search features. LinkedIn.
Yeah, I guess we're moving to LinkedIn now.
All right.
Okay, cool. So yeah, LinkedIn is a very open source website. People tend not to lie on LinkedIn a lot. They're trying to put themselves out there, trying to get a job, whatever it might be. So you can find a lot of information on here. I mean, even looking through my own LinkedIn, some people have phone numbers, addresses posted. So, I mean, so many vulnerabilities that it's hard not to like speak about it a little bit. Because even the barrier to entry to get into LinkedIn is super simple. You just need an email and you can use a fake name, whatever it is. But yeah, based on the profile itself, you have the profile and banner pictures, you have posts, comments, socials, someone's experience and their education skills. You can figure out where they went to school, where they used to work, where they currently work, all their skills.
Where they work as well.
Yeah, the location even. Sometimes people post that as well. In their activity in the work too, you can find out specifically like what projects they might be working on too. But yeah, like I said, email, phone number, and address, sometimes those are even posted. I mean, not on Kevin O'Leary, he's a pretty large figure, so but like some smaller people, or less well-known people are definitely gonna be on there for that. Yeah, but it's really easily accessible to most people. So yeah. I don't use
Thank
this.
I got it. Oh, you
On the
also
next
got the
one,
next one. Great.
Cool. SoundCloud. It is definitely an OSINT type of place. Just because it's semi-anonymous, just like YouTube or Reddit, whatever have you. Some people try to make careers on SoundCloud and they'll go by their real name, or you can backtrack it towards who they actually are. And they'll often link to their socials too. So that's just another pathway that you can take to figure out who someone is, where they work, etc. And they can be as anonymous as they want. They can go by a fake name, not include any personal information. But the creators and publishers, the people that are trying to make a name for themselves in this industry, are definitely more vulnerable. So, but yeah, same thing, posted media, profile pictures, socials, all included in the website itself. Likes, comments, reposts, who they're following, who's following them. That can definitely be something that's vulnerable. And playlists, but nothing that they have to post directly. So yeah, that's about it for that. Down button. Cool.
We're gonna skip this. This will be an OSINT 2. So this is the taking an image and figuring out where it is, figuring out what its location is. Okay, that went a little long. I apologize. Next meeting this Sunday is assembly. That's going to be really, really cool. So if we've looked at Rev and you've seen all those things where it's like add RAX, RDX, that is assembly. And it's really, really cool. And you should be there for it. And then I think next Thursday is Pwn, ?
Ideally, next week is Kevin week.
Ideally, next week is Kevin week, where Kevin just pops off and teaches you all how to Pwn things, which is great. All right. We've got, oh wait, hold on. Where'd the challenge list go? Uh-oh. Hold on. Why is this hidden? So so I've been doing this for a while. There are 49 challenges for this meeting.
Jesus.
Only 8 of them are for points, unfortunately. But here are the usernames. If you want more practice, like if you finished all of this challenges 1 through 8, and you want more practice on this, I can't guarantee if they work anymore because it's been years since I've signed on to some of these accounts.